It's not audible. Really sorry, people. Am I audible right now? Yes. Am I audible, everybody? Chaliye, today it's going to be a very important session. It's going to be a very important session for reading comprehension. If you're preparing for any law entrance exam or even management exam, any examination that has reading comprehension as a segment, this particular section is going to help you a lot. Today we are going to understand the rule of six, the power of six. What is that, ma'am? What is power of six? Which we understand some things. Yes. Hello, people. The six rules that you need to keep in mind while you're solving your reading comprehension. If you know these six rules, reading comprehension is going to be a cakewalk for you. Okay, people. Now, for the next 10 minutes, eyes on the board, and I promise you, after this one lecture, reading comprehension will become a cakewalk for you. Okay, I'm going to tell you how do you read, how do you approach reading section. Okay, but say reading comprehension. Whenever you see a passage, don't straight up start reading it from start to end, word by word. No, that is not what we are going to do. If we do that, we'll be wasting a lot of time, and you won't remember much of what you have read, right? By the time you come to the third paragraph, you would have already forgotten what was there in the first paragraph, right? Or what was there in the second paragraph. In order to avoid that, today we'll learn what we call the power of six. Okay, now what is this power of six? Very easy, beta. It's not rocket science, not a rocket science. First of all, always focus on the beginning and end of the passage, right? Idhar se bache, your main idea will come up. Your main idea you will always find either from the beginning, I mean not either, both, from beginning and end of the passage. Now some very good smart students will tell me, ma'am, not necessarily, ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है. Isn't it possible that somewhere in the middle my main idea is hidden? What if the examiner is trying to fool me? Can they not put this main idea in the middle, somewhere in the middle? Hello, Parth. Well, I would say yes, they can. They can do that. But even if that happens, even if the examiner or the author decides to put the main idea somewhere in the middle, even after that, beta, your starting few line and the ending few lines, there that particular idea will be mentioned. Okay, people, always remember, even if the main idea is somewhere in the middle, still it will be discussed in the first few lines and in the last few lines. Okay, so reading the first few lines and the last few lines very carefully becomes non negotiable. आपका कंक्लूजन, आपका मेन आइडिया इधर से आने वाला है. ओके पीपल, कंपेंडियम कब आएगा? आ जाएगा बेटा, कीप योर कूल. ओके, वी विल पब्लिश इट सून. चलिए, आफ्टर दैट, ट्रांजिशन वर्ड्स. Beta, every class, okay, every class I take on reading comprehension, I yell at the top of my lungs, beta, transition words pe please dhyan do. Why are these important? Beta, your opinion, any opinion in the passage, whether it's the author's opinion, some opposing argument, counter argument, whenever there is an opinion coming in, beta, हमेशा transition words होते हैं. Words like yet, but, so, nevertheless, despite that, right people? These words tell me कोई opinion आने वाला है, and main argument is nothing but opinion plus evidence, right people? So many questions, आपके strengthening question, weakening question, author का क्या stand है, author का क्या opinion है, all these questions कहाँ से आते हैं बेटा? ट्रांजिशन वर्ड. जहां ट्रांजिशन वर्ड दिखा, नो कि कोई ना कोई ओपिनियन आने वाला है, और जहां ओपिनियन, वहां स्ट्रेंथनिंग, वीकनिंग और ऑथर का स्टैंस. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज कंसिस्टेंट विद द ऑथर्स ओपिनियन or with the author's argument? All these questions, transition words. I have to be very careful. Whenever you see a transition word, usko dhyan se we're going to read. After that, beta, there are some conclusion words. Words that hint that conclusion is coming forward. Words like therefore, hence, leads, consequently, so on and so forth. After that, अच्छा, कभी भी कोई recommendation होती है, any suggestion that the author is giving, any solution that the author is giving. Read it carefully, beta. Why? Words like should, must, need to, यहाँ से भी बहुत सारे inference question बनते हैं बेटा. Inference question, so many inference question always come from here. Author recommends this, author suggests this, right people? This is something you need to read carefully. Okay, whenever you see a reading comprehension, beginning ending बहुत अच्छे से पढ़नी है. Transition word very carefully, conclusion words and recommendation or any suggestion. All right people, all right, rest of it you can skim. बाकी चीजें I need not read line by line, word by word. No, I can skim it, right? But these things, this I will read very carefully. Okay, people, all these things you need to read very, very carefully. Chaliye, I'll give you a little insight about how to map the passage. Okay, we'll have a separate session on that if required. Although I think इस session के बाद you will learn how to map your passage. If you cannot, we'll conduct a separate session for that as well. चलिए, first of all, context and background. Where is the scene set? Is it a historical fact, some sort of definitions or trends? Okay, Vicham. उसके बाद main argument. This is again, it's the heart, it's the core of your passage. Okay, people. All right, these two things you've identified. After that, what are the reasons? What is the evidence that the author is giving? I always tell you conclusion. What is conclusion? Beta, your conclusion or your main idea. It's nothing but the author's opinion plus evidence. Your author's opinion plus his evidence. If you're able to identify these two things, you're done. Your reading comprehension is done. Okay, people. After that, counter argument or opposing views, they help you in strengthening or weakening question, beta. They always help you in strengthening and weakening wale questions. Chaliye. Now, once you have mapped, once you have recognized the uh, counter argument, you have to see the author's response to the counter argument, which we also called rebuttal, right? What is the rebuttal that my author is giving? After that, beta, implication or consequence. Implication or consequence always inference question. इधर से आपकी inference question बनते हैं बेटा. Right people? What follows if the author argument is accepted? ठीक है? चलिए, now conclusion and recommendation, very very important, very very important, and that's how you crack a reading comprehension. No matter what exam you are preparing for, what paper you're writing, if it has reading comprehension, you follow these steps and all your answers will be correct. Chaliye, let's try whatever we have started till here. Let's try it in a question. This is a reading comprehension. Let me give you 50 seconds, right people? 50 seconds, read this passage, and then we are going to move to the questions, everybody. I'll get a side so you can read it nicely. People, are we done reading? People, are we done reading? Shall we move to the questions? Yes, everybody. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Daksh says we are done. Hello, Daksh. Charlie, let's move to the questions now. Let's move to the question. The first question says, how does hypoxia affect female fish reproduction? All right, people, how does this particular condition affects female reproduction? Okay, you have four options here. Now, if you have read the passage clearly, if you have read the passage nicely, we here in throughout the entire passage we talks about how this is impacting the fish population, and the author gives certain reasons for that. So if you have mapped the evidence, you can answer this question very easily. Who will tell me the answer? Yes, people, does it increase egg production, or it has no effect on reproduction whatsoever, or it decreases egg production, or it improves the survival rate of embryos? Very good. Very good. The correct answer, of course, is C. It decreases egg production. Why? Why? Look here, bache, look here. If I look at the passage, I can clearly map that, okay, this is somewhere where they're talking about its effect on the reproductive system. What do they say? Yes, after several months in hypoxic water, female fish produce fewer eggs. Right, people? Good, very good. So the correct answer, of course, is C. Chali, let me move to the next question. What term is used in the passage to describe areas with significantly low levels of oxygen? Very good, Arush. Very good. Yes, the correct answer is C. Chali, let's move to the next question, people. Let's move to question number two. Do you need to go back to the passage? If you map the passage, very good. You can easily answer this. You may even go back to the passage if required. People, shall we go back to the passage for this question? Do you want to go back to the passage? Okay, I've gotten one answer already. Very good, people. The correct answer, of course, is hypoxic water. Hypoxic waters. Now, some of you may also say, ma'am, why not dead zone? I would say, beta, theek se padho. Dead zone is where there is no oxygen altogether, right? The question is asking significantly low level of oxygen. Right, people, we're not talking about areas where there's no oxygen at all. We're talking about areas where oxygen is significantly low or it is diminishing. Very good. Now, what effect do altered hormone level do during gestation have on fish embryos in hypoxic conditions? What effect does it have on fish embryo? Who will tell me? I'll get a side. They promote the cell development of female traits. They cause all embryos to become hermaphrodites, whatever the word is. They have no impact of gender determination, or do they inhibit female traits and promote male traits? Yes, everybody. What's the correct answer here? Now, anybody, if you have read the passage for this question, I don't even need to go back. I remember one thing, that they suppress reproduction. They have a bad effect on the reproductive system of fishes. Right now, I can also eliminate based on that. They promote development of female traits. No, they cause embryos to become whatever the word is. I don't know. They have no impact. It's not a neutral thing for sure. They inhibit female traits and promote male traits. Yes, that is the right answer. All right, people, that is the right answer. That tells us how they affect the reproduction. Very good, people. Fourth question. Who will answer the fourth question? What broader ecological impact does declining oxygen level have, as mentioned in the passage? Broader impact. What is the broader impact that this hypoxia has, or the low level of oxygen has, on overall ecological environment? Who will answer? Yes, people. Yes, people. Fourth question. Now, this is slightly difficult question, okay? So we'll do one thing. We'll go back to the passage. Tell me, people, where does this passage talk about the implication of, let's say, lack of oxygen or declining oxygen? Which part of my passage talks about it? People, who will tell me? Which part of my passage talks about the impact or implication of declining oxygen level? Yes, of course, it's the last para, right? If I've read the entire passage, I can easily tell. If I've mapped it, I can tell, okay, ma'am, it's the last para that talks about it. Let me read the last para again. Let me read the last para again. What implication has it extend beyond individual species to entire ecosystem? Okay, that we know for sure. But what is the effect? What is the effect, people? Charlie, let me go back to my passage. Let me go back to my passage. Which broader ecological impact does declining oxygen level have? Does it increase the hypoxic fish population? Does it enrich coral reef? Does it disrupt the entire ecosystem, or does it degrade marine biodiversity? Yes, people, the correct answer, of course, is C. Why? Yes, C. Increase in no, that's not a broader ecological impact. The only confusion we can have is between C and D. Degradation of marine biodiversity. Well, this is also a risk. Yes, this is definitely a risk involved. Definitely, this is a risk. Lack of oxygen in the sea. Yes, yes. Biodiversity will decrease, but the broader ecological impact would be better. Entire ecosystem can be disrupted. Why? Because the marine life, the marine ecology is interconnected with humans and other things as well, right? So if it continues to happen, the broader ecological impact would be entire ecosystem can be disrupted. All right, people, all right, very good. No, no, Arush, beta, no. That is not the broader ecological impact, beta. No. Yes, marine biodiversity is at a risk. For sure. I'm agreeing with you. It is at a risk. However, the correct answer is the fact that it can disrupt entire ecosystems, right, people? Because when the marine life is in danger, the broader ecological impact is that humans, animals, and all other species will be impacted. So it can disrupt entire ecosystems. Chali, now these two questions we are going to do in the homework, right, people? We are going to do these questions in the homework, and you'll tell me the answers in the comments. Okay, all right, people? Yes. No, do you want to do it right now? Acha, theek hai. Let's do fifth one as well. Chali, let's do the fifth question as well, people. Why is reproductive success critical for any species according to the passage? Is it because it ensures the continuation of genetic diversity? Is it because it determines the physical trait of the species or feeding habitat of the species, or it influences the increase in habitat size? What's the correct answer, people? Who will tell me the correct answer here? What's the correct answer, people? All right. I've gotten one answer. I have gotten one answer. People, I have six people watching. Why only one answer? Yes, of course. The correct answer is it ensures the continuation of genetic diversity. Very good, people. Very good. Yes, yes, that's the right answer. That's the right answer. Chaliye. Now let's move to the next passage. Last question for the day. Last passage for the day. Let's read it. Let's read this passage, answer some questions, and then we'll call it a day. All right, people. Last passage for the day. The rest of the questions, please do in your homework. Yes, people. Let's read the passage. I give you 50 seconds. Okay, 50 seconds. Read the passage. Uh, Perfect, perfect. And let's move to the questions after that. People, are we done reading? Shall we move to the questions, everybody? No, we are still reading. Perfect, perfect. How do you read the passage? See, in the beginning, the author is just creating a background, giving us a background. Then he gives us example, right? Why his opinion is true, right? And then he gives reasons behind it, why so and so things is happening. And in the end, along with some examples, he gives you a conclusion, right? Chali. Now let's move to the question. Let's move to the question. Who is a knacker? Who will answer this, people? Who is a knacker? Now, outside of the passage, you may know the meaning of this word. You may not know the meaning of this word. But today, we are going to answer it strictly based on the passage. Right, people? Based on the passage, I will tell who a knacker really is. Tell me, is it a slaughterer? Is it a trader whose business is disposable dead and unwanted animals? Or is it a person whose business is disposable dead or unwanted animals, especially those whose flesh is not fit for human consumption? Or is it a harness maker? Who exactly is a knacker? Tell me, people. Duck says it's C. Duck says it's C. Is it the right answer? Let me see. Let me see. Now, see, harness maker, I don't think can be the answer. The close confusion could be between A, B, and C because B and C are very similar. Right? A trader whose business is disposal of dead and unwanted animals, right? Then the other one says a person whose business is disposable dead or unwanted animals, especially those whose flesh is not fit for human consumption. Which one is correct? Let me check with the passage itself. The passage says, where does this word appear in the passage, bache? Where does this word appear in the passage? Uh, yes. Where's the word here? I cannot see. Yeah. See, this is the fate that awaits all of us. Cows, pigs, sheep, everyone, even horses and dogs share no better end. Boxer, the very day your great muscle fail you, Johns will send you to the knacker who will slit your throat and boil you down for the foxhounds. Okay, what are foxhounds? Foxhounds are basically a particular category of dogs, right, that are used for poaching and when you're going. Vale. Now, which of the following can be the answer? Now, A says whose business is dead and unwanted animal. That is true. That is true because they will slit the throat and they will feed it to the horsehound. However, beta, this one is more particular. Why? Why? This one is more particular because the author is telling me that he will feed you to the foxhounds. That means that meat is not fit for human consumption, right? Which is why it will be given to the foxhound. So yes, the correct answer is C. Why? Because the flesh is not fit for human consumption. How do I know? Do I have a very good vocabulary? No, I read it in the passage. The passage itself told me that this will be given to foxhound. That means it is not fit for human consumption. Very good. Chale. Answer the second question, people. Answer the second question. The repeated reference to slaughter, drowning, and the knacker in the passage primarily implies to provide a detailed account of animal husbandry, evoke emotional outrage, suggest that animals are naturally subservient, or indicate that human value animals a lot. What is the actual reason? Why is the author repeatedly referencing to these things? What's the answer, people? What's the answer in here? Very good. The correct answer, of course, is to evoke emotional outrage. Very good. Very good. Very good. Perfect. Let's. Okay. Although I promised you that would be the last question, let's try one more. Okay. Last question, people. 40. It's a very short passage. You'll read it within 40 seconds, I'm sure. Chale, let's read it and let's try to answer the questions. Last passage for the day, people. Anshuli says B. Anshuli beta, we are done with the question. We are on the second passage now. You're telling me, but good. Yes, B was the right answer. Very good. Very good. Yes, B was the right answer. Vache. People, are we done reading? Are we done reading, people? Yes, people. Charlie, I think that was sufficient time. That was sufficient time. Let us move to the questions now. Which of the following best explains why human did not initially stand out among other organisms? Why? Why was it? Is it because they had fewer offspring, their behavior were not unique, or did they not evolve the ability to use tools? Or was it because they lacked the genetic capacity to develop a language? What's the reason, people? What's the reason? Now, if you know the main idea, you can very easily answer this question. Okay, let's say you don't know the meaning, you don't remember what it was. What am I going to do? I'm going to go back to the passage. I'm not going to read the passage again. No, I have mapped. First talks about humans and comparison with other people, other organism, other animals. Second para talks about why humans were not the most superior back then. Then they talk about species and how do you classify them. Okay, so I'll specifically read the first and second para for this. Charlie. Coming back to the question, what's the correct answer? What's the correct answer, people? The correct answer, of course, is the fact that their behaviors were not unique compared to other animals. Right? This is the reason author says why humans did not initially stand out among other organisms. Right? People always remember, what did I tell you? Whenever you have an opinion, any opinion the author gives you, there will be one question of specific detail for sure. All right, people, one answer on why this happened. Why did the author say that? One question will be asked from there. Similarly, here, the author is giving an opinion that they were not, let's say, there was nothing special about them. This is the author's opinion, beta. Why? The author gives you reason why. Because they did certain things, but chimpanzees also did that. Other organism also did that. So they were not unique in any capacity. So the correct answer, of course, is B. They were not unique in compared to other organism. Chali. Second question, everybody. Second question. What would be the answer here? According to the passage, what determines whether two animals belong to the same species? Is it their ability to produce fertile offspring, their physical appearance and size, their shared evolutionary ancestor, or the capacity to adapt to the environment? Again, let's come back to the passage. What do I do here? Do I read the entire passage again? No. No, people. I have mapped the passage. I know that this particular paragraph, this particular paragraph of my passage talks about species. How do you categorize certain organism in a species, and how do you not categorize them? Right, people? So this is the only para that I'm going to go back to. Chaliye, I give you 2 seconds, I give you 5 seconds. Read it if you want to, and then we'll go back to the passage, to the question. Five, four, three, two, one. Let me go back to the question. Ability to produce fertile offspring, physical appearance and size. No. Why? Because he has given me example of two species that are very different in size and shape, and yet they belong to the same species. So this cannot be the right answer. Shared evolutionary ancestor, not necessarily. Their capacity to adapt to the environment, no, they can be from different environments as well. Right? So the correct answer is A. Right, people, the correct answer is A. What is the reason the author gives? Because horse and donkeys, they can produce offspring, still they are not species. Why are they not from the same species? Because the offspring that they produce, the mules, they are not fertile. So the, I think, most important quality to have is that they should have the ability to produce fertile offspring. Perfect, people. Last question for the day. The passage explains the concept of species classification by. How does the passage, does it highlight the behavioral difference between species like horses, donkeys, and bulldogs? Does it focus on DNA pool that they share, or by contrasting horses and bulldogs with donkeys and spaniels? Chaliye. What is the correct answer here, people? How does the author attempts to do that? How does the author do that? Tell me quickly. But why can't it be C? I think it can be C as well, people. Why not C? I think C can also be the right answer. In fact, when the question paper was released last year, so many of your YouTube teachers said, okay, C may also be the right answer. So many platforms, right? Why can't it be C? Why can't it be C, people? Who will tell me? Why not C? Right? Many of your YouTube teachers said that C can be the right answer. Like they fought with me. Shika ma'am, C can also be the answer. Why not C then? Why can't C be the answer, people? Who will tell me? Because the author is contrasting. The author is telling you why horses and donkeys cannot be considered in the same species. Why not? Why can't C be the right answer? Very good, Daksh. The problem is framing, because my author is not comparing horses and bulldog with donkeys and spaniels. No, my author is comparing horses and donkeys with bulldog and spaniels. Are we understanding, people? This is why mapping is very important. If you haven't mapped, you will answer, ठीक है, देखने में अच्छा लगा, let me mark it. But if you have mapped the passage, you can go back and see, अरे, donkeys and horses are never, are in the same category. That category is compared with spaniels and bulldogs. So this is a pair. The pairing that they have written is wrong, beta. Yes, a contrast is there, but the contrast is between horses, donkeys, in comparison with bulldogs and spaniels. Right, people? Right? Perfect, perfect, perfect. I hope you all understood how you can solve reading comprehensions easily. Right? All you need to do is read the passage, focus on transition words where opinion is coming forward, and most importantly, map your passage. Where is the author's opinion? This is the evidence. This is the counter argument. Right, people? These are the only things you need to um, focus upon, and you can easily do these questions. Okay, there are some questions I've left. Let me leave you with one more question that you can do in your homework. Okay, just take a screenshot of this. If you're watching recording, watch it again, pause it here. This question, all the three questions, please answer it in the chat box. Okay, whoever writes the right answer, I'm going to comment on that. I'm going to pin that comment. Okay, all right, everybody, see you all. Bye bye.